Hello, my name is Barbara Watson. I'm here to talk to you today to explain to you why I think that minors should have their parents consent before obtaining birth control. Reason number one, minors are not mature. Minors are just that. They're minor, they're irresponsible, they don't make sound decisions, and a lot of decisions they make are based off feeling and what they perceive as love. The second reason is minors fall in love so frequently, like they change clothes. Minors think that love they really can't determine what is love and lust. So, like I said, every week they'll be in love again. So if you have sex with everybody that you're in love with, before you know it, you've had sex with the whole school. Uh, Another reason I think minors are prone to peer pressure. Peer pressure, yeah, from either their friends or from the mate that's trying to get them to have sex. Minors need to be able to talk to a responsible adult who can explain the consequences of premarital sex and not being and being promiscuous. Reason number two, sometimes pills are given without counsel. The minor needs to have counsel. They need to understand, but although you have birth control pills, you need other contraceptives to work with that. You also need condoms because condoms prevent STDs. STDs are very dangerous and can lead to death, blindness, and other severities. The next thing I feel about the birth control, the contraceptives, promiscuity seems to be promoted. It's like it's okay because you can have sex, but you can't. I mean, you won't get pregnant, so you can have sex. You can have sex because you won't get STDs because we will give you condoms. That won't stop you from being promiscuous. All it'll do is stop you from, it'll lessen the chances of you getting pregnant or of getting STDs. The next things, STDs are sometimes downplayed because if you give someone condoms, birth control pills, a lot of times they don't ask for condoms, especially girls. Girls don't usually ask for condoms. They think that their mate is supposed to have them. Another reason why they're not ready for sex because it's your responsibility to be ready for whatever role you take on or whatever thing. If you're going to have sex, you need to make sure that there are condoms available. So in case, if your mate doesn't have condoms, you'll have some, so you won't be having unprotected sex. But next thing, parental rights are stripped away. I believe that parents should have the right to talk to their children about sex. I know school prepares them with sex education classes, but there's something about talking to your parent about something really scary, which is having sex for the first time and getting married and stuff like that. So taking away your parents' right to have that conversation with their children, I think that's wrong. And parents sometimes use this time for bonding. Sometimes this is the only time parents get to talk to their children before they end up pregnant or have an STD. They can't get rid of something severe like AIDS, even something that they'll have for life like HIV, or even Hep C, that goes into drug use. But still, parents need that time to bond with their children and explain the importance of waiting till you're married to have sex. Another thing, parents really want to know. Foreknowledge is the best thing. You want to know before your child is pregnant, before your child has an STD, because then you have to handle it a totally different way. Because now it's urgent when you can have these conversations with your children before they get pregnant and before they get to STD trouble. And it's it's better to have a conversation before something happens and give counsel and forewarn than it is to have to comfort them and walk them through something like AIDS or HIV for the rest of their lives, because people usually don't handle it well. Sometimes it ends in, people just give up, or people sometimes commit suicide because, like I said, to me they weren't given an opportunity to talk to their parents, or they didn't feel that they could talk to their parents. Another thing, I think teen parents. Okay, we're gonna go back. Okay, there's statistics that will show that if teen pregnancies happen sometimes in a family, it usually goes down through generation to generation. Sometimes, like at least 4 people in the family would be a teen parent. For example, a great grandmother is 58 years old. That's really young for a great grandmother. A grandmother, 42 years old. I mean, she had a child at 16. The mother, 27 years old. She had a child at 15. And the child is 13 years old and pregnant. So the child is nowhere near ready to be a parent. The only time I think that a 13-year-old should be pregnant if they were raped or something. And I'm not saying that's a good thing for them to have been raped, but it's better than being a 13-year-old trying to go into a consenting sexual relationship. To sum it all up, I think that parents should be an active member when their child is talking about sex, long-term relationships, marriage, anything that can be life-changing, that will change their life forever, will change their ability to go to school, will change their ability to be able to take care of a teen pregnancy, anything that will change their life from being, especially if they were Christian, any decision that would be made from just saying, oh, I don't want to be a Christian anymore and I want to date. And you need to learn how to date. There's proper ways of dating. You don't have to date and have sex. You can actually date and go out with friends. Don't go out by yourself because it gets to be tempting. As a Christian, I feel that teen dating is really risky because when we're left to our own devices, things happen. So I believe that minors should stay in groups especially when they're dating and they're young, like 15 and 16, if that's allowed by their parent. They should stay in groups, and when it's you and your mate, you should always be have a chaperone, because it lessens the chance of you being, like I said, a product of your own devices. So, like I said, in conclusion again, I believe that parents should have a say if their child is getting contraceptives, and they need to be able to talk to them about proper use of contraceptives and being responsible, enough to be in a sexual relationship. And you should also know that sex it can be a loving thing in the right situation, in a marital situation, but premarital sex and promiscuous sex is very dangerous. So I hope you enjoyed my talk today on why I feel teens or minors should have their parents' permission before obtaining contraceptives. Thank you.